have shepherded over have turned against me. They have broken the holy covenant between me and you. They have whored themselves with idols, whom they have crafted with thine own hand, and they have bowed themselves and worshipped these abominations. They have said, blessed be these idols, whom have led and provided for them 1,000 years. Since they have done this thing and taken my blessing and given it to the idols, my wrath is poured out upon the whole world. A decrepit sickness has been unleashed into the world, for all of their wickedness and worshiping death. They shall become decrepit things, spreading death. This is my judgment on all those who transgress my laws and who have defiled my covenant. Death. Death. But not for you and your brother. You shall stay here in my holy mountain as I test the entire world to see if they shall serve me or choose death. I have spoken, so shall it be.
Hello, and welcome to another telecast of the Word of the Most High Yah. I'm your host, Priest of the Most High, Lucifer the Lambew. And today we're in, of course, the new book, Deuteronomy, book of Deuteronomy. And we are going to be going over, Yah willing, Mount Seir, Esau's possession, the 40 years walking the wilderness, and Moabites, and the children of Lot. So we're going to be going into some of that, some concepts that we've dealt with in some of the other previous books of the Bible. So we're going to be getting some more expounding on those things, Yah willing. Time would allot. Okay, so let's go ahead and dig a little deeper and get started. Turn with me to Deuteronomy chapter 2, and we're going to read verses 4 through 7. Okay? Alright, so here we are. Verse 4 says, you know, let me go ahead and take it back to verse 3 just for a little bit of context. It says, ye have compassed this mountain long enough. Turn you northward, and command thou the people, saying, ye are to pass through the coast of your brethren, the children of Esau, which dwell in Seir, and they shall be afraid of you. Take ye good heed unto yourselves, therefore. Alright, now stop for a second. Now, as always, recruits, the scriptures have a historical, literal, carnal meaning to them, but there also is the higher-ranging, spiritual, prophetic meaning that it has as well. And where the spirit and carnality meet, where historic and prophetic elements meet, is what the scriptures is all about. Okay? This is a situation that happened to Moses and the children of Israel, our ancestors, back when they were traveling the 40 years in the wilderness. But it's also a testament and a precept to what's going on right now, in the sense that, the Most High is calling the Edomites our brothers, which, they're all brothers. Now check it and notice too, Esau was the brother of Jacob, yet the Most High is talking to Moses, and he's talking in regards to the children of Israel. So Esau literally, ain't their brothers in the sense of, them being, that's more like cousins, right? But the Most High says brother because that's the spirit to which he identifies it. So that's the reason why we can say that the Edomites are our brothers, even though Esau was the brother of Jacob, which would make that line like, distant cousins and everything else, because again, the scriptures puts the spirit on the identification of Esau. Okay?
If you aren't subscribed to the Lambew YouTube channel, Takuma 08, then you don't know what you are missing.
Next one I think is gonna be what, number five. Number 5. So King of the Fly. But until then, we will see you again next time. All right. With thy walking thorough this great wilderness, these 40 years, the Lord thy God has been with thee, thou hast lacked nothing. Now that's true then, and it's true now. You know, then they were walking through the wilderness for 40 years. You know, they still have their sandals were still working. They had food, they had water, they had shelter. The Most High took care of them, even though they're walking through the fucking desert. The desert. Which is another show, of course, that these were so-called Negro Nation. These were melanated people. There's no fucking way Esau could be walking through the desert for 40 years and not crawl over and die. Okay? I mean, it's just that simple. It's just that simple. Recruit. So don't be listening to people when they're these Edomites, these other nations, our enemies, who are sitting there trying to spew garbage that somehow the white man is really the Israelites, or the white man is anybody in this book other than the Romans, Greeks, and you know, basically the heathens, right? Israel was a Negro nation, as the kingship goes, which is our tribe of Judah, King's tribe. Thus goes the nation. And yes, they were going through the desert for 40 years because they had melanin. Because all they needed was a little water and some food and and then they're good. Some tents to provide some shelter, and they're good. And the Most High was providing for them for 40 years. He provided food and shelter and water for 40 years. And just like the Most High is providing for us now. We've been in this captivity for almost 400 years now. Almost 400 years. And as a nation who is not recognized as a nation in this country, surrounded by our enemies, right? The suffocant white man who gets off killing and hunting us, shooting our children in the street, and not even many of which going in before a judge. And those who do, they get, they fear for their life. They're not guilty, right? But they have had so much opportunity to just kill at their will, at their whim, right? Or as a nation, which we're not even considered a nation here, we've had to go to them for our food and our water and the necessities of life for almost 400 years. And yet, we're still here in the land of our enemies, people who hate us. Why? Because it wasn't provided by them, it was provided by God. The Most High provided for Israel. The Most High provided for you, recruits. He provided for me. He provided for our mother, our father, our grandfather, our grandmother, our people as a nation. Yes, some people die. Everybody dies. But as a nation, we have survived even under this extreme captivity, even under this extreme oppression, even under this extreme circumstances, situations. What other nation, what other people could have been under the clutches of people, of another nation that hates them for so long with almost impunity to kill them and yet still survive? Look at what happened to the so-called Indians, right? Some white man came here too and you know, got them, tried to enslave them, ended up killing 95% of them, and the ones that are left basically looks like wannabe white people. They damn near completely wiped them out. Or let's say blotted them out. Right? Recruit? Look what happened to the Asians, you know, the Moabites and Amorites. I mean, through conquest, rape, whatever, they took the Edomites took a nation that were melanated in the first and turned them to damn near wannabe white people. So the fact that Israel, so-called Negroes, so-called Black America, basically, isn't like the Asians, isn't like it looked like all the Mexicans, right? Ephraim. Through conquest with these Spaniards and all this other kind of stuff, to the subcon white man, I mean, if you look at the pictures of their aboriginals, they was dark as fuck. But now, you can't tell a hair difference damn near between them and white people. They were blotted out to a large degree. And the fact that the so-called Negroes ain't like any of them, the fact that the so-called Negroes, so-called Black America, is still black. Well, should I say, it's still melanated, by and large, is a testament to the Most High protecting and providing for us. It's been 400 years. They had plenty of time to make us look just like them. But the Most High wouldn't allow it. And you can see how now that our captivity is coming to an end, now that the time frame is almost up, how desperate they are to intermix, how desperate they are to try and create white versions of ourselves. They're desperate, but time's up. The Most High has found the generation to whom will inherit the promises. The 400 years of captivity is coming to an end. And the remnant is about to be revealed. Okay. So where somebody may say, your enemies may say to you, O Israel recruits, that your God has abandoned you, that he don't love you, that you're on the bottom, that you've been on the bottom for almost 400 years, and blah, blah, blah. Just know the truth. Everything that they're telling you in terms of the stuff that they did to you, the realities of where you're at, you know, which is of course laced with their deception. But know that that is also the proof that the Most High has been with you, that the Most High has been protecting you, that the Most High has been saving you. Because for them to have so much power over Israel, over our people in this captivity for as long as they had it, and for us not to be dead, for us not to be blotted out, for us not to be totally like the Indians or the Mexicans, is proof that the Most High not only was with us, but has protected us. Just like it's proof, the curses that we've suffered in this 400 years is proof that we are the Israelites of Scripture, that we fulfill the prophecies concerning the Israelites. Our spirit testifies to the fact that we are the children of the living God. Right? Almost 400 years, praise be to Yah, we're still defiant in this bitch. Almost 400 years and we're still fighting. Almost 400 years and we're in oppression on the bottom. Right? And we're still saying death to America. right? We're still saying, you know, down with Babylon. Were we broken as a nation? Yes. Were we broken as a people? Yes. That's why people are killing each other in the streets. That's why we have no king, no leadership, no real leadership. But has our spirit been broken? Has our love for the Most High been broken? Hell no. Hell no. And the Most High has raised up and is raising up a generation of us that is gonna be acceptable to go back to the land of milk and honey.
Now is the time, O Israel, to make your choice. Come back to serving the God of Israel in spirit and in truth. While there's still time, the Most High has sent His servants to guide you in His ways. Put your faith in Yahshua HaMashiach, for this is the way, O Israel, walk therein, or choose the world to your peril. But be ye not lukewarm, for in that day, for those of you who are lukewarm, He will spit you out of His mouth, and there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So choose, and choose now.
Right? Okay, so let's get to the next one. Turn with me to, we're going to go over some Moabites. How they're the children of Lot. Turn with me to chapter 2. We're going to read verse 9. We're also going to read verses 18 and 19. Okay, so here we are, chapter 2, verse 9, and it says, And the Lord said unto me, Distress not the Moabites, neither contend with them in battle. For I will not give thee of their land for possession, because I have given heir unto the children of Lot for possession. So the Moabites are the children of Lot. And if you remember, they slept with their father. Lot slept with his daughter and created children. Those children had Down syndrome because it was incest. Down syndrome basically gives you the slanty eyes and that real dazed fucking look on their face. So that's where the Moabites, Amorites, the Chinese, Japanese, basically that's where they get their features from in terms of the slanty eyes and the Down syndrome type of look, because they're the Moabites and the Amorites. Children of Lot, the children of incest. Okay. Like it, don't like it, but that's the truth, recruits. It's a higher ranging fruit. But if it be meat for you, if you can digest it, digest it. Alright, now we're gonna read verse 18 and 19. It says, Thou art to pass over Thoroughar, the coast of Moab, this day. Excuse me about that, recruit. Alright. Thou art to pass over Thoroughar, the coast of Moab, this day. And when thou comest nigh over against the children of Ammon, distress them not, nor meddle with them. For I will not give thee of the land of the children of Ammon any possession, because I have given it unto the children of Lot for possession. So again, all these nations have their land, and here the Most High is explaining this reality to the children of Israel, that he's given certain things to all these different nations, just like he gave them their own gods, which were really devils. But he's given unto them what he has given for them. And now upon his visitation, which we're in the midst of this visitation right now, he's basically taken away all this stuff and will put all these different nations under the managing control of the anointed of Israel. Yeah. The chosen seed, the 12,000 of each of the 12 tribes of Israel, will have dominion over all these nations, all these lands, all these dominions that these other nations have enjoyed all this time. That's their future. But anyway, let's continue. But at this time, the Most High was saying that they basically was bringing to recognition, bringing to awareness the children of Israel that he had given and allotted certain things for these other nations. And it's the same thing that's happening right now. As Israel has woke up to the fact that they have no land, that they have not land, that they're in their enemy's land, that they're in their enemy's clutches, as Israel has awoken to the realities that we face and that we have been facing for almost 400 years. We've also, have become aware through the scriptures, through the Spirit of the Most High, about the other nations, our enemies, and how they have had these things for this 400 years. while we've been in captivity. All of this leading, of course, to the redemption of Israel. Just like in this case, with Moses and them, the Most High was showing them Mount Seir, showing the land that Edomites was given. He was showing them, basically the land that the Moabites was given and whatnot, and the lands that the Amorites was given. Why? Because that was on the process to get to their land. See, by bringing their awareness to these things, he also salted their appetite. He also encouraged them to desire their own land, to want their own land, right? To appreciate what he was going to give them. They wasn't looking in jealousy. They wasn't looking in desire for what other people have, or covetousness, or nothing of that nature. Most High was just bringing their awareness to it. Like, you know what? Like he through Lambew Ministries and through these other camps, through these camps out there, right? How he's letting the children of Israel know that, hey, you know what? You got a land too. You got a language too. You got a culture too. You got a history too. You have a God as well. Your God is the God of Israel, the one true God, the Most High. Your land, Israel, the land of milk and honey. Your language is ancient Hebrew. Your people are the Israelites. The Jews of Scripture, so-called Negroes. The King's tribe. And so there's a wealth of information that the Most High is giving Moses here and the Israelites on a historical level, but in the spirit, it's the same thing that he's doing right now. All this in preparation for us entering into the land. All this in preparation for us receiving all those things that in this 400 years we've lost. That the Most High has in the palm of his hand, and he's going to give it to us. Alright? Alright, so let's go ahead and get into more information about the Nephilim. Turn with me to we're still in chapter 2, but let's look at verses 20 through 23. And we're also going to look at chapter 3, verses 11 to 13, and chapter 9, verse 2. So let's go ahead and start with that. Chapter 2, verses 20 through 23. And it reads, okay, that also was accounted a land of giants. Giants dwelt therein in old time, and the Ammonites called them Zazumins, a people great and many and tall as the Anakims. But the Lord destroyed them before them, and they succeeded them and dwelt in their stead, as he did to the children of Esau, which dwelt in Seir, when he destroyed the Horims from before them, and they just succeeded them and dwelt in their stead, even unto this day. And the Horims, which dwelt in Hazarim, even unto Azan, the Caphtorims, which came forth out of Caphtor, destroyed them and dwelt in their stead. Alright, recruits, now here's some high-ranging fruit. Alright? Most I just read to you about how the interaction these giants had with the Moabites and the Edomites. Right? Now check it. The giants were the result of the fallen angels coming to earth, creating bodies for themselves, and then having relations with human women, sexual relations with human women, and spreading their seed through the human women that created the Nephilim, which were giants. It also created Nephilims of birds, animals, sea creatures, basically threatening to ruin the whole genome of the whole planet. Okay? Those bodies that the Nephilim made were, we know them now to be Neanderthals. The Neanderthal gene is still present in humanity today, or subhumanity, because the so-called Edomites, the subsequent white man, and the Asians, basically the Amorites and Moabites, have the Neanderthal DNA still in them. So again, the scriptures is blowing the whistle that both the Moabites, children of Lot, basically Moabites, Amorites, and the Edomites had, interaction with these Nephilim, and of course, they are the Edomites and these races with all this Neanderthal DNA is basically the Nephilim of today. Because they are a mix of the fallen angels, which were in the body of the Neanderthals, and humanity, which is why there are marks on them. Okay. All right. So let's continue. Let's go to chapter 3. We're going to read verses 11 and 13. We're on chapter 3, verse 11. Start with verse 11. Alright, for only Og, king of Bashan, remained of the remnant of giants. Behold, his bedstead was a bedstead of iron. Is it not in Rabbah of the children of Ammon? 9 cubits was the length thereof, and 4 cubits the breadth of it, after the cubits of a man. And the rest of Galilee and all Bashan, being the kingdom of Og, gave I unto the half tribe of Manasseh, all the region of Argob, with all Bashan, which was called the land of giants. Right, so all these nations know that they were giants from the earth. All of them. You see, the so-called Negro, we've lost our history. Our history been hidden to us for almost 400 years. But that wasn't the case with all these other nations. These other nations know that they was giants because their history wasn't hidden and it wasn't totally destroyed from them. And here the scriptures is blowing the whistle on the fact that all these nations have dealings at some point or another with these violent Nephilim, basically Neanderthal and human mix, ape-like beasts, giants. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and go to chapter 9, and we're going to read verse 2 and see what that's talking about. All right, chapter 9, verse 2, and it says, a people great and tall, the children of Anakims, whom thou knowest, and of whom thou hast heard say, we can stand before the children of Anak. Who can stand before the children of Anak? So again, more proof, more evidence biblically of them describing, the scriptures describing giants in the earth, giants interacting with the different various nations, giants going to war again. Thank you. Thank you. Let him go.
You should have killed me. You should have killed me, boy. Should have killed me. I'm gonna get you. Get you. Hey, you little bitch, boy.
It's real. You must focus. You must allow your weapon to become a part of you. Is going to bring us out and redeem us as it is written, because we are His inheritance. And we're His inheritance. It's like, I mean, He wants us. He wants us to come out. He wants us to serve Him. In the land of milk and honey, in our homeland, in our place, as we read in the various books of the Bible we've already gone over. But also, if you remember Genesis chapter 15, verse 13 and 14. After the 400 years is up, Most High said we're going to come out with great substance, and we're going to serve Him in His place, basically. Which, land of milk and honey, Israel. Because we're His inheritance. He's been saying it from the jump. He hasn't changed His mind. He ain't gonna change His mind. That's the truth. That's the truth. It's always been the truth. It's always gonna be the truth. That's what they've been hiding from us, recruit. He don't say that about the Gentiles, about these heathens. He don't say that about these other nations, these less than spittle. Because it ain't true when it becomes in regards to them. He don't consider them His inheritance. He considers us His inheritance. He gave them to the other to these demons and whatever not. And when the Most High reestablishes, redeems Israel, He's going to give them over to us, the men of God, those who are chosen, the anointed, 12,000 for each of 12 tribes of Israel. In their due measure, and their due inheritance that's given by the Most High. Y'all willing, we be those men. Y'all willing, you be those men, recruit. But that's what's up. That's the plan. That's been the plan, right? That's the inheritance. That's been the inheritance for us. Y'all willing we be those men? For you. Because we're the inheritance of the Most High. He been saying it. It been true. Right? Just like you might say you can hide anything from a nigger in a book. Right? They've been fooling our people all this time, making our people believe that they were on the bottom, they were nobody, they were poor, that they had no society ever, that they, had no, basically, no prospects of anything, that they needed the white man, suffocating white man for everything, and that we were basically nobodies. They've been trying to tell us and teach us that, we have no real accomplishments, but they're lying. Because the second you find out the truth of your Israelite heritage, and what the Most High has been saying all these thousands of years in regards to us, their lies become obvious as a motherfucker. You know? Those of us who know the truth, we're smiling. Big old smiles, but nothing compared to the smile we're gonna have, you know, when all this stuff comes to pass. Right? Right? But yeah, we have civilizations. Of course we did. Yeah, we have a land. Of course we do. Right? You realize the craziness was the thought that we didn't. What Esau was spitting was really crazy. Every race, every nationality on the planet has a language, has a land, has a heritage, has a history. Right? I mean, the thought that they would try to even make it seem that we don't is lunacy. And the only reason why it was working was because the Most High had dulled our eyes and had blinded us and made us blind. But now that the Most High is coming back to his children, their lunacy is being revealed for what it is, their lies. Deception. You know? And yet then they come and they try to make it seem as if, oh, you know, we're all friends, we're all equal, we're all da-da-da-da, you know, why are you hating? Because they're liars. And as the scriptures say, there's no truth in them. How you going to try to come over here to the children of God after lying for almost 400 years talking about we should just believe you? We're not going to believe shit you say. You can't teach us nothing. You have nothing to teach us. Right? They have nothing to teach you, recruit. Nothing. That's what I was talking to you about before, O Israel, having discernment, knowing who your enemy is. Yes, the enemy can come in many different shapes, sizes, and forms. You know, we would not have it that you be ignorant. Most High would not have it that you be ignorant to the devil's devices and tactics. Most deaf. That's why you have to that's why you study to show yourself approved. That's why you have to have a relationship in the spirit of the Most High. Allow him to guide you, right? Because the devil can come in many different forms. But if you don't know who your historical, enemies are, if you don't know who the Edomites are, then you wouldn't even have to really do any real big hocus pocus for your ass. All you have to do is, if you can't defend, if you can't understand the little things, how can you understand the bigger, grander things? Right? Esau being an Edomite, being a supplicating white man, being our enemies is low-hanging fruit. Because if not them, then who? If they wasn't the ones that put you in chains, brought you in chains, and been oppressing you all this time, then who? So they're low-hanging fruit. But you got to understand their connection as your enemies and as the people who have done the work of the devil in this world. You have to understand that in order to get the higher range of fruit, in order to understand the greater things, like who's behind them, like there's the spirit and the powers and principalities of wickedness that in which they operate through, that operate through them, the elites and the ones that sit behind the scenes, the Neanderthals, basically the fallen angels and the Nephilim connection. So one step before the next recruit. But you got to have these basics. You got to have the common ground, the floor, the low-hanging fruit in order to be able to start to get higher up into these other higher-ranging fruits. Then of course, if it be meat for you, it'll be meat for you. And if it's not meat for you, if you're not at the level yet of being able to digest it, then don't worry about it. All right, recruit? Because listening to this truth and allowing your mind to be filled with the Word of God is a righteous thing. It's a necessary thing for this walk. Because man don't live by bread alone, recruit, but by the very word that proceeded out of the mouth of the Most High. Thank you for watching. That's it for now. We go some more stuff next time, recruit. Thanks for watching the Word of the Most High Yah. I'm your host, priest of the Most High, Lucifer D. Lambew. Alright? Because man don't live by bread alone, by the very word that proceeded out of the mouth of the Most High. Thanks for watching. And I will see you again next time. It's not destroyed, actually. What they were called is, they were whitewashed.
Okay.
During the Renaissance period of time, they basically took, the conquering nation basically took the image of Christ, which, maybe you know, maybe you don't know, is a black man. And in Revelation they tell you what color he is because it tells you that. And they made him look white, and they made the Bible look white. What color is that? Jews are an olive color. Do you know what the word Jew comes from? Yeah, what the word Jew comes from? What's the word Jew short for? But you know that they're olive color, but you don't know what the name of them comes from. I'll answer that question. The name of Jews comes from the house of Judah. And the house of Judah, incidentally, are the Negroes here in America. We are from the house of Judah as put forth in the truth. There is nothing scriptural that tells us it's okay that you don't agree with it, because truth is truth whether you want to accept it or not. If you don't believe,
that's why I'm listening. That's why I'm tolerating you.
You don't have to tolerate me, because it's not my truth. It's the truth of the Bible, the very book that you say you represent. See, you can say to yourself, I don't believe this aspect, I don't believe that aspect, but you're not going against me, you're going against the very book that you say you're here to preach, teach, and show us. Because they told me, I didn't write that, I'm not the author of that.
I'm not one of your church
the author of that. I'm not a church.
Yeah, I'm not one of your stewards. I'm a teacher, so I don't need to try to teach you.
Okay.
You understand that?
Okay.
Don't try to
You say that you're a teacher. Fine,
I
I'm
don't want
fine.
you to try to teach
So when you say you're a teacher,
Yes, sir.
the question is this. Okay.
in your mind.
As a teacher,
This is the question in your
sure,
mind.
but if you're a teacher, then you're here to
This is the question in your
teach.
mind.
So how can you teach if you can't answer questions which potential students may ask you? You're a teacher, so could you teach the $1 million question that's on the hearts and minds of the Negroes in this country, which is where they come from? It's in your